The violent crime rate in the United States is about 369 incidents per 100,000 people in 2018. This is the lowest it has been in more than 30 years. However, violent crime is still widespread. Violent crime is not evenly distributed throughout the country and is typically more common in urban areas. Specifically, some cities are more dangerous than others. This video is brought to you by Answerly, a question platform that pays you for adding high-quality answers on different questions. The users are rewarded in Answerly tokens, which they can easily convert into dollars or any other cryptocurrency by using one of the exchanges mentioned in the description. Hello and welcome to our YouTube channel. In today's video, we will be talking about the 10 most dangerous streets in the United States. If you're new here, make sure to smash the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notifications bell to get updates whenever we post. There are some streets that you're not welcome, and just by walking down them, you could be making your last mistake. Violent crime, especially gun violence, is nabbing headlines around the country, particularly in the country's biggest cities. But which major metros report the highest numbers of crimes across the board? And now, here's our list of the top 10 most dangerous streets in the United States. Let's begin with top 10. Independence Avenue, Prospect Avenue, Kansas City, Missouri. The zip code is 64106. That lies at the intersection of the Independence Avenue and Prospect Avenue, Kansas City, Missouri, is one of the worst in the nation. As per the latest statistics, the area experiences 82 violent crimes in a typical year, with the official crime rate being 81.97 per 1,000 people. Each resident stands a 1 in 12 chance of being a victim. This is mainly due to dwindling economic opportunities, high poverty rates, and massive unemployment. Top 9. Massachusetts Avenue, East 34th Street, Indianapolis, Indiana. Indianapolis, Indiana is consistently ranked as a top 13 most dangerous city in America. Most of its neighborhoods are scenes of gang violence, mass shooting, burglaries, and murders. The portion of the city that lies at the intersection of Massachusetts Avenue and East 34th Street is one of the worst affected areas. It experiences violent acts of all kinds, ranging from carjacking to drive-by shootings to murders and so on. The area records 60.06 acts of violent crimes per 1,000 people in a typical year, and a resident or a frequent visitor to the site stands a 1 in 17 chance of being a victim of the same. Top 8. East E.H. Crump Boulevard, South 4th Street, Memphis, Tennessee. It's an intersection within the city of Memphis, Tennessee. The street intersection is ranked the 11th worst in times of violent crime rates, 82.91 per 1,000, with the chances of one becoming a victim of violent crime being 1 in 12 in a typical year. Other than violent crimes, it's also one of the poorest and worst victims of urban decay. Plenty of trash is also found in the area, which further endanger the health and well-being of those who reside in the area. Top 7. Kishwaukee Street, Grove Street, Rockford, Illinois. Dwindling economic fortunes in much of Illinois has occasioned a spike in the number of violent crimes. The city of Rockford has not been spared either. The area that is bounded by the intersection of Kishwaukee Street and Grove Street, Rockford, Illinois, has in particular been hard hit. A resident of the area stands a 1 in 13 chance of being a victim of gang violence, rape, murder, or burglary. The official crime rate per 1,000 people currently stands at 75.8. Top 6. Prospect Street, South Keystone Avenue, Indianapolis, Indiana. Indianapolis, Indiana is one of the cities that have been adversely affected by the rapid urban decay that has mainly been occasioned by the collapse of various industries across America. The city has witnessed high unemployment rates, drug abuse, and violent crime. This particular intersection records around 84.03 violent crime incidences per 1,000 people in a typical year, with the possibility of being a victim standing at 1 in 12. Top 5. 13th Street, Washington Highlands, Washington, D.C. Washington Highlands is a residential neighborhood that's located to the southeast of Washington, D.C. The neighborhood is the poorest in Washington, D.C. and has a very high number of unemployed persons. Consequently, the 13th Street, which lies right next to the neighborhood, is the worst affected and indeed one of the most dangerous in the entire nation. It's a scene of violence, gang attacks, robberies, shootings, and just about every other kind of evil. The area records 66.67 violent crimes per 1,000 people in a typical year, and on the whole, a resident of the area stands a 1 in 15 chance of being a victim of the same. Top 4. Linden Street, West Outer Drive, Detroit, Michigan. The city of Detroit, Michigan has been the worst affected by the urban decay. Due to the collapse of the auto industry, many people lost their jobs, homes became abandoned, and unemployment levels hit the roof. Consequently, incidences of violent crimes, rape, murder, and drug trafficking became the norm. One of the worst affected areas is Linden Street West Outer Drive intersection, which is a hot spot for violence and all manner of ills. The intersection experiences 60.89 incidences of violent crimes per 1,000 people in a given year, and a frequent visitor to the area stands a 1 in 16 chance of being a victim of the same in a given year. Top 3. North Miller Street, Newburgh, New York. Newburgh is a town that's located in Hudson Valley and which also forms a part of the larger New York metropolitan area. The city has been undergoing an economic decline that started in the late 60s and early 70s. The decline has seen massive unemployment, high poverty levels, a fall in real wages, and a surge in violent crimes. The North Miller Street has particularly borne the brunt of these violent crimes. The street witnesses 59.81 acts of violent crimes per 1,000 people in a given year, and a resident or visitor in the area stands a 1 in 17 chance of being robbed, murdered, carjacked, or raped. Top 2. Ferry Avenue, South 8th Street, Camden, New Jersey. The city of Camden, New Jersey is America's poorest. It's basically a ghost town whose decline was occasioned by the collapse of the textile industry. It has very high unemployment rates, violent crimes, gang rapes, drug and substance abuse, and all manner of wickedness. The intersection of the Ferry Avenue and the South 8th Street is particularly notorious. On the whole, the possibility of being a victim of the crime in the area is 1 in 11 in a typical year. And lastly, we have Top 1. LaGrange Street, Water Street, Toledo, Ohio. The overall crime rate in Toledo, Ohio is 96% higher than the US national average. This intersection is particularly notorious for all kinds of violent crimes and mass murders. It experiences 77.3 spate of violent crimes per 1,000 people, with each resident standing a 1 in 13 chance of being a victim of the same in a typical year. Further to that, crime rates have been on the increase, with the current rate standing at 81%. Being safe in New York is dependent on a lot of factors. Some neighborhoods are dangerously only at night, while some others could be at whenever time of the day. Again, some crimes in neighborhoods could be targeted at tourists and visitors alone, while others are also to locals alike. It's possible to live a decade and never have to be a victim of a dangerous crime, or only to view crimes by screenplays and TV screens and never be mugged. Just like it's possible to be a victim every other day in every other acclaimed worst neighborhood. It's worthy to note that the order of the worst streets in America, as listed above, may not hold in the long run. That's because it's naturally expected to fluctuate without notice, given the highly fluid and dynamic nature of the various parameters that determine the insecurity of a street. Also, many streets tie in terms of the level of insecurity, such that it's not possible to provide a foolproof and reliable ranking. Interested parties are therefore strongly advised to conduct further research in order to acquaint themselves with the very latest rankings, besides obtaining more information as regard to the state of insecurity in the listed neighborhoods. Where in America are people most likely to be murdered, raped, robbed, or have their car stolen? Let's know your thoughts about this video in the comment section below. If you like this video, make sure to smash the like button and subscribe to this channel. To learn more about Answerly and Answerly tokens, check out the links in the description.